All right, it says it's live. I'm not sure. It's live, yeah. All right. Okay, so it's Saturday, December 17th. I'm talking with Robert Jones about his upcoming court date on Monday. Looks like it is right now. We're going to YouTube and to Facebook, so hopefully some people will get on and share that. All right, Robert, what are your thoughts going into Monday? I know I've heard quite a few things. It sounds like the prosecuting attorney has filed some stuff at the last minute. What do you know about that you can share?
Well, just the motion, they filed a motion in opposition of the stay. I haven't seen the actual motion, but Melanie's explained what she thinks it says at least. She sent it to me, and hopefully I get it before court, but who knows. Basically they're saying that because I could have had a lesser sentence, then they should deny the stay of execution. Kind of to me sounds like they're arguing the Rule 35 in the stay of execution. Doesn't make sense. But they said that if they do grant the stay, they won't need to have a bond. I don't know.
So that's not really what I heard. I heard something a little bit different, that you are going to have a bond, that they've requested one.
No, they requested one, but that doesn't mean that I have to have it. The judge needs to decide.
Okay.
Just because the prosecution asks for something doesn't mean it needs to be agreed.
Right.
And one of the guys that I talked to in here, a bond, when a stay of execution is granted, a bond is pretty rare. So, I mean, I don't know if it'll actually be. I mean, it's kind of, part of me says it's just a game. Like, basically, they go, okay, well, we'll go ahead and grant the stay, but then we're going to slap $100,000 or $50,000 bond on you. And, because that's, $5,000, $10,000 that you never see again to go through a bond set.
Right.
I don't really know anybody who can just part with $100,000 until I go to court. Because, deals can take a long time. And so that would basically make me stay anyways, kind of thing. And another part of me kind of says that, well, they think I'm going to get it if they're asking for a bond. Because, I mean, I've never heard of it before. And I've been granted a stay of execution previously. And it's just basically it stays the sentencing until you're done with the appeals process. And you have to complete whatever is left. So it doesn't actually get rid of anything. It just puts everything on pause. So the prosecution's argument that I could have, and I don't know, I guess in the motion they're saying that I could have had unsupervised probation. Now, I don't think that's right, but I could be wrong, because I could have swore what I heard in that courtroom was 2 years probation, and then she went on to the class thing.
So I don't even recall her getting much past the probation period, and you said that you wouldn't do probation with right reason. But
well, to me, let's just say that, okay, for a minute, I'm wrong, because I've been wrong once or twice. Just don't ask my wife; she thinks it's been a lot more. But anyways, she did say unsupervised probation. Okay, she did. What an escalation that is. So I won't do unsupervised probation, which means that I'm such a low risk to the community that they don't even need a probation officer to make sure that I'm doing stuff. I don't need any supervision.
Right.
But then when I say no to that, then it's, we're going to throw the mask at you then? Boy, howdy, that's kind of one extreme to another, isn't it? I mean, if it's true that there was unsupervised probation, now I don't remember her saying what kind of probation specifically. And like I said, I could have swore she said 2 years probation, but people who listened to the audio said she said 1 year. So I was wrong there. So I might be wrong on this too. But even so, that has nothing to do with the stay of execution, because even if it was unsupervised probation, I still would be asking for a stay.
Right. Well,
So one way or the other, it doesn't matter. It's confusing to me.
I think the whole thing is confusing, and I think it's in a way it's designed to be that way, but at the same time, it's designed to be a time suck and a waste of money, and I think everybody is really seeing that it's really it's really just a big song and dance. I mean, what exactly are they accomplishing by uh, by pushing paperwork back and forth? How is that?
It reminds me of a saying that cops used to say, that sounds so good. You may be able to beat the charge, but you're not going to beat the ride.
Yeah, you're not. You're not going to beat the system. The system is set up in a way that you're never going to win. And it kind of comes back to
No, it's more like this. It's that what that saying to me is that, that basically when a cop tells you that, what that means is that he knows that the charge that he's charging you with is total BS, and that you probably beat it in court, but you can't beat. He just puts you in cuffs, threw you in the car, and took you to jail. So he can charge you. So you can't beat the ride, which is the ride to jail.
right.
But you may be able to beat the charge, but you can't beat the ride. In this, the ride is extended as into a power court because, I don't know, you never know still the court system, but I'm pretty confident that in an appeals court that it's going to be overturned. But I was, I can't be, I could be wrong because the court system got pretty bad, but I mean, this seems to be
Well, I was pretty confident, that they were going to find you innocent, but
not with an Ada County jury, and it just
well,
reminds me of those people that are law enforcement. Well, no, because I didn't get to see.
right.
But yeah, most of the time when you go in, you'll see that most jurors are either law enforcement, or have law enforcement with their family, or work for the city or county. You'll see that a lot. I mean, on mine, I remember one guy, and the reason I know where he works was because he said it actually worked for the highway district. Another one of the people who was in the jury pool she was a clerk, the guy that worked for the highway district. He got on the jury, and then one lady, she was like the supervisor for the judge's secretaries, which she looked familiar when I first seen her, and I couldn't place her at the time. But yeah, I have talked to her before. She tried to tell me I couldn't file a motion, but she lied and said that she never dealt with me before, and she had, because me and her had a pretty, let's just say, long and kind of heated discussion in the clerk's office about if she was telling me I couldn't file a motion, which that's not her job. The judge just decided the motion's in or not. It's her job just to file it. So they called her down. But anyways, that's common on Ada County juries. So anytime you take it to a jury, you're really, really rolling the dice, and it's not in your favor. It's like there's six sides on a die, and four of them are in their favor.
So you think that maybe if you had and I don't even want to assume this, if you think maybe if you had a jury outside of Ada County, this would have ended differently for you?
Yeah, and actually, I had two different attorneys that felt the same way. One of them, pretty much like he didn't say, okay, I don't know 100% if he was going to take it pro bono, but he sure implied that he would take it pro bono if I could get it out of Ada County. That he wouldn't have anything to do with it as long as it was in Ada County. He said any other county. And then he would take the case, and like I said, he applied, at least implied, that he would do it pro bono. And he backed out. And he basically told me that if I could get it moved out of Ada County, then he would be my attorney. And another one, yeah, once he found out it was Ada County, he backed out. He was down there all ready to go, all pumped, thinking, just a constitutional case, da 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 da. And he, I don't know how he didn't understand it was in Ada County, but then his secretary called me and said that, yeah, that he realized it was in Ada County, and so he backed out.
That's really interesting. I wonder, like, if so the venue change is not an option, but the appeal itself is going to have a venue change, right?
No, it will. It'll go to the appellate court, which is the district court or whatnot, from my understanding of it.
But that's still going to be within Ada County.
Yeah, it'll still be within the district, which is not just Ada County. It's like, I'm not sure how far the 4th district goes. I believe that's what it would be. It's a higher up judge. That's called the district, and the district judge. And then if we don't prevail there, then we go to the Supreme Court of Idaho. And then if we don't prevail there, then we go to the federal district court, which is District 9. And if we don't prevail there, we can go to the Supreme Court if they decide to hear it.
So if you decide to appeal it all the way up, you can appeal it through all of those court systems. But right now, you're stuck working within the confines of the communist jurisdiction, which is Ada County, right?
Well, it's not just Ada County. The 4th district, which covers, I think, it's just like CDH. I think that's the same. So, covers, I think, Elmore County. No, Elmore County. I don't know. The 4th district, you'd have to look it up. I think it's the same ones, whoever is CDH, because I think a lot of people are familiar with the different people that were in CDH.
Right.
The same county, they're CDH.
So same as the health district, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those can.
All right.
And so people understand, an appeal doesn't mean you get to do the trial over again, or that you get to introduce more evidence. All the appeals court does is look at how the court went. So, like when I motioned for, I believe it's called a Rule 29, which basically says that the state has failed to prove their case because they haven't proved the elements of the crime. The judge denied that. But even throughout the entire thing, they still never proved the elements of the crime. I mean, if you look at the jury instructions, even the judge, when I objected because the prosecutor was lying, saying that the state proved that I used the bullhorn, the state proved that I set up my car alarm, the state proved all this, that's all a lie. So I objected and said that because the prosecutor was lying. And we went up to the judges, when we go up to the judge and she
the bench.
Right noise. Yeah, bench, there you go, thanks. And she said that, even she said, well, no, actually, I think the state has proven the opposite of that. So, yeah, you're going to have to tailor it back to just beating the bucket because that's the only thing the state proved. So then he came back and instead of clarifying, like the judge told him to, he just said that come to the effect of that beating on the bucket wasn't a seizure. And that wasn't one of the elements that they were supposed to look at. So all of that, the video shows, and everybody testified that, for one, David never gave me the bullhorn. So I never used the bullhorn. The bullhorn, I can't 100% say that I didn't use them, but I was trying to fix them. That's how come Susan was able to get the buckets, because the bullhorn stopped, or the
air horn.
Air horn, there you go. The air horn stopped working. So I was trying to get them to work again because they froze up or whatnot. And so, and I don't think I ever remember if I ever got them to work again. And so then she got on the bucket or whatever. And so, I mean, the only thing they proved is that I hit the bucket. And I admitted that I hit the bucket. That's on video, I hit the bucket. but that wasn't one of the elements that they're supposed to prove. I never screamed either. So, I mean, I don't think I even yelled, but you yell and the scream is different, but I don't think I even yelled. I'm pretty sure all I did was hit that in a bucket.
You know, I could probably count on one hand the number of times I've actually heard you yell, because
Yeah,
you don't typically yell.
yeah, not usually. When I took off sometimes, like I've yelled in the courthouse, if I remember right once. At Southwest District Health, when they smacked that baby in the head with the door,
Right.
I yelled at the staff there.
Well, I mean, that was a justified reason to raise your voice.
Yeah, well, and yeah, that wasn't really necessarily a yell. That was just more of a. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think that you could consider that a yell. I was just, because she's like, oh, why don't you just get off the door? Nobody's gonna get hurt. So I got kind of pissy and said something about, well, they already smacked the kid in the head with it. They don't give a shit. Something to that effect. I don't remember what I said exactly, but yeah, I raised my voice as I went into it, so that the staff that had done it would hear what they had done. The one time at the courthouse, I don't know. I don't remember really. I mean, any other specific time, but I'm sure there's a few times that I've yelled, but not that day.
Right. Well, then that was my point. So Monday afternoon at 2:30, we have a court date, and we have our CPS protest that's going to start at noon. Sounds like people are going to be doing some potlucking out of the trunks of their cars at CPS. And I'm going to come down again, which is going to be exciting. But the court isn't actually going to start until 2:30, and I'm sure they're going to try and pull some shenanigans again. But what are you expecting to happen? I mean, we're going to go in, and the judge is supposed to hear whether or not you get granted the stay, right?
Yeah.
So
I think that everything's filed right. They filed that same thing saying that he didn't file a memo with it. So he filed one. And the thing is, this is a standard motion. Like I said, I filed this same motion twice, at least, and was granted it. And the one time I did it verbally, and he granted it. The other time was actually with Gilmont, and it was just a simple motion, and he granted it. Right then, there was no brief, no memo with it. So that if you look at the rule, it says except for standard motions, which is a standard motion. So I don't understand what they want, but anyway, so we'll see. Hopefully they don't, play the shell game and say, oh, well, we got to continue it again.
Well, and if that's the case, I don't know. I almost would like to see your lawyer object to that, because if the state is asking for them to postpone it, the state's not prepared, and you're prepared, and I mean, if we have 50 more people show up and we fill that courtroom again, then I mean, it's everybody else's time and energy that's being wasted at that point, because the state can't get their shit together.
Well, and I'd like to remind everybody that it is the state playing games, not us. Because
right.
Yvonne filed these motions
in October.
In October. So the state has had plenty of time to address these issues if they had an issue with it. It's only at the last moment
that they have an issue.
Yeah. So the one was literally the day before. Figuratively, I guess, the day before, because if you go by business days, the weekend doesn't count. So Friday at I think it was at 12:30, they filed the motion objecting to the Rule 35. So within business, less than a business, we're about a business day away. Okay, and then now they're pushing it to the 23rd. That one they pushed to the 23rd, which I think is a play, because who wants to show up the day before
a holiday?
Christmas Eve? Yeah, so
your friends will. I mean, you have quite the tribe, so I'm sure that we're going to pack that courthouse again on the 23rd. rain or
Well,
shine,
that's the
we'll be
thing.
there. Um,
I think that
I think that
it,
that
that
has an impact.
I think it does too. I think that's part of their game is to try to to make it the 23rd, the day before Christmas. That's it's gonna reduce some people. Um, because and we do have great supporters here of people's rights and stuff, and specifically would be in this standing up for this First Amendment right stuff. But I mean, people have lives too, and I hope that we can continue to pass the courtroom because, to be honest with you, I don't know what's going to happen with the courts. So, if nothing else, that's a win in my head. That's badass because although they keep screwing around, at least I see people standing, and that's what we need is we need people standing.
So I want to touch on filling the courtroom for a second because I know in the chat rooms I've been kind of keeping a loose eye on it. People are really not aware of how corrupt the system is. And so when you show up and you get to watch in person how the judge is acting, how the prosecutor's acting, and how the officers are acting, we can talk online, we can talk in the chat rooms, um, and it's not like experiencing it in person. Um, in 2020, I joked that driving down to Ada County was like driving to a foreign country. Um, and it is. It's really a different, especially if you live outside of Boise or you've been in court in another county. Go see what court is like in Ada County. It's literally like going to another country with the police presence and just the attitude in general that you get from the judge and the prosecutor. It's completely different.
Yeah, well, and with people need to understand that it is hugely impactful for them to show up at the court because then the judge knows that everybody's watching. Like my wife, I couldn't really see the judge's face because there was a computer screen in the way,
Right.
so I didn't get to see the judge. But my wife said the judge was like staring at her the whole time, pretty much. And when the judge walked in, she was shocked to see all those people because, like I said earlier, when I first went in there was only a couple people in there, and then she goes and takes a recess and then comes back, and all of a sudden there's
They wouldn't let us
whole,
in. They wouldn't
yeah,
let us in initially. They said we had to wait out in the hallway. And they kept coming by and saying, "You guys are being too loud." Well, yeah, you got 50 people having small talk out in the hallway. Of course it's going to sound loud. But I mean, we weren't intentionally being too loud, but of course they were getting all sorts of complaints before your court time. And then afterwards, I mean, we stood out in the hallway and hung out for probably half hour, 30 minutes at least. Um, and we were louder then, and they didn't come say anything.
yeah, well, I couldn't hear you guys in the courtroom because, like I said on the other call, whatnot, at first I was like, oh my gosh, my wife didn't even show up, and then everybody started piling in, and yeah, that was cool as crap. Uh, but yeah, and that's the thing too is that sometimes there's with CPS cases, I have found that just showing up and I go into the courtroom and the I don't know what you call it, AOs or what, I'm trying to kick me out, and they can't kick me out until the judge comes in, and the judge absolutely can kick me out. So then the judge kicks me out. But guess what? They know that I'm there, so it changes things.
It does.
Sometimes even in the hallway, because I don't go in if the parents don't want me to go in. So sometimes just being in the hallway, they know that that guy Robert's out there, and and they'll tell parents. I've had parents come to me afterwards and say, "Boy, that judge knows you," and I was like, "Well, yeah, but, I've been doing this for a while." And they're like, "Yeah, they really don't like you. They're telling me not to listen to you, and they talk bad about you." Which I think is kind of funny, but it does change the way and I've heard from people that it does change the way that they treat them. Now they understand that that guy, that crazy Robert dude's paying attention, and he may be crazy, but he has some not quite so crazy friends, and he's gonna go tell them, watch. So we need to make sure that we pay attention to what we're doing and not embarrass ourselves too much because he's gonna make this shit go public. visits. Sometimes they try to restrict the visits, depending on, the judge and what they're trying to do. Sometimes they're trying to threaten the parents, so they'll, shorten the visits to try to do, well, if you're going to work that Robert we're not going to use these visits. It's that kid. They like to do. But I can tell you, court support definitely helps, and that many people definitely helps, because that was awesome, and it's from the judge to being watched.
Well, and that needs to happen. It needs to be something that happens more often than just on your case. But I mean, right now we need to set a precedent here that we are going to watch and we are going to fight back when they decide that they're going to try and squash the little guy. I do want to touch real quick. I personally attempted to call the ACLU for you, and I can't get through to anybody. They don't take phone calls. You can email them, which I've done, and I did try and leave a message for their, I think it was their press department. I don't know. Anyways, I said I'd really like a comment from you guys just on why your phone number is blocked from the jail, and why you guys haven't made any statements regarding this free speech case here in Idaho. And I went into a little bit of detail on what it was and left my phone number 3 times, and hopefully they'll call me back. So, I don't know. We'll see.
ACLU is more, it's kind of a shot in the dark, and I think we discussed that.
It is. It's a shot in the dark, but hopefully other people will be making that same shot in the dark, and then it's going to look like a little splatter of paint, and they're going to be like, oh, what's this? Something's going on here. Maybe I should look at this a little bit closer. But that's how you get the attention. I mean, when somebody's got to be the first one to speak up, and then that next person and the next person, and then people start paying attention. So it's always easier to stand with a group, but sometimes you have to stand alone, and you've been standing alone for a really long time. So hopefully the group can come alongside and at least show up to court on Monday.
Well, so people know too is that I did talk to Anna Bundy about possibly getting this issue brought up on the Pete Santilli show.
Awesome.
And he sent some information to Pete, so I'm not sure exactly how to get a hold of Pete Santilli, but and I'm not sure if he's going to cover it or not. It's pretty quick, so but people may want to pay attention to that, or ask him if he's going to see, and if somebody gets through it and is going to cover it, please, whoever does figure out if he's going to cover it, spread it out throughout the chat, let everybody know so people can tune in and comment, or just tune in and listen. So
I've been super encouraged, Robert, in the last 48 hours. New people have been commenting on your story, people in Oregon. Susan did a really awesome video. And my days are blurring together. I apologize. I think it was Thursday night or Friday morning. And she is starting to put together just kind of like here's what it is, so that we can share it farther. And if you're not familiar with what's going on with Robert's case, please make sure you go to his channel and check out his Hello World, This Is Me video, because it's a quick, I think it's 15 minutes. But Robert made it back in 2016, and it's just kind of a good summary of who he is and what he does. And then you kind of know who you're fighting for, because he's a good guy. But I am going to be continuing to post out some more information here over the next 24 hours about court coming up on Monday. We need to pack that courthouse, guys. Parking sucked this last time. I don't know if any of you guys are regular at the courthouse. I unfortunately am starting to adopt that title, but I actually had to go into the parking area. There wasn't parking in the general parking. I had to go up into the parking garage and then walk all the way down. And it was good because there were so many people there for Robert. So I'm hoping I have to park higher than the second floor Monday. That would be really cool. And then I can't be as late, so I need to leave a little bit earlier. But um, Monday is definitely the day, guys. Please bring a friend. Carpool if you can, because they will charge you for parking. Um, Robert, what else do you have to say about Monday? What?
How much it costs an hour? It's free for the first hour, and then it's $1 for every hour after.
Okay, yeah,
But
but
people
okay.
could also combo. There's places that they have parking lot and stuff. I believe out by the airport and stuff. So you can, carpool or whatnot. You can do that too, and that reduces it down. More people in one vehicle or whatever. Also, but yeah.
I think making parking miserable for the entire courthouse though was great. So that
Yeah.
there's that. The $2 or whatever it was that I spent on parking was totally worth it. All right, what else did Ammon say?
He said that he's going to try to get you to cover it.
Okay.
And Ammon's been a great support to all this, so people understand. I know that he doesn't necessarily like everybody, knowing everything he's doing. Let's just say that he's been supporting me and my family throughout this to the best of his ability. And he's kept stuff alive, so that people don't forget about me and this, that, and the other. And he's financially helped us out too. And I really appreciate his help and everybody else who's also helped both in the same ways, as far as financially getting the story out there, showing up to court's really important. We did just do another Give, Send, Go. My wife started. We got out. It's in the chats and stuff, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's Give, Send, Go, right?
Yes.
Okay. And basically, so people understand that yes, we did do one previously, but pretty much all that money's gone now because we've had to spend money on the legal fund, and then being in jail is not cheap. These phone calls cost like $13 a piece, and there's being able to eat for the food as far as that's concerned, and there's stuff like that. And so we are going to be, even if let's say 19, they're like, yeah, we're still going to continue on. And don't get me wrong, when I get out, I'm probably going to sell my truck and sell some of my silver to help fund it also. But not my white truck, a different truck that I have. My full-size truck.
I was going to say, I saw your truck parked outside because your wife drove it over with the flags. And
yeah, not that truck.
I stopped in the parking lot. I was like, oh, he's here. But he didn't drive it. It just kind of... It was a moment.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of cool that my wife brought it over because he really hasn't worked in it for a while.
So she froze her butt off from your house clear to the courthouse just so the flag truck could be there.
Yeah, someone got a pissy at me last year, I think, about the flag not being right. I'm like, yeah,
the flag is right. That flag is absolutely in the correct position, especially now more than ever, and I hope more people can respect that.
Well, they got over that pretty quick because the group that it was in was actually it was a couple years ago. But anyways, they already knew what the flag meant, but he didn't like how tattered it was. And I was like, all right, how about this? Just making a little post pitching, line and shit. Why don't you walk up and hand me the flag or hand me the money to go get a flag? Well, why should I have to do that? Well, if you're bitching about my flag being tattered, if you think that it's too tattered for display, well, then why don't you do something about it? Oh, yeah, you did. You put out a post pitching. But, because I don't know, if I thought my neighbor's flag was, and I actually have before, they weren't there, so I just left it on their door. But, their flag was all tattered, so I left them a new flag so that they could put up a new flag. Because sometimes, the flag's only $7, but sometimes $7, you just can't afford it. But, oh, yeah, sorry, I got off the point. But yeah, I can't even, that day I just happened to be coming over for something for Second Amendment and then, helping out a kid, with a case of CPS, all day long. I was just doing a truck. It was frozen. And I was freezing my ass off, and they were worried about my flag. but yeah, so that's not the truck I'm talking about. It's another truck I bought so that we could go camping and stuff with it. But yeah, I'm planning on most likely selling when I get out to help pay for this because we got to understand that, that we still have the appeal to come. The transcripts haven't been, as far as I know, they haven't got the transcripts done yet. We paid for them. They haven't got them done yet. And once transcripts come in, then that's when the money starts, basically, we start making money. Because the attorney's got to spend time to
read through it.
Those,
yeah.
And to put the appeal together, and then, then we have to go to the district courts. Then that means the attorney has to be there. He has to prepare his arguments. He has to work. So that's going to start costing. And then, let's say that they push it to the higher courts. As we go up, it's going to just cost more and more and more. And it's not a quick fix. It's not like we just get it here in 2 months and we're all done with it. I want to point out, like Lee Rice. I don't know how many people know Lee Rice, but he's been fighting his case, civil rights violation case. He's just suing. This is a little bit different, but he's been fighting his for 10 years, and it's still in court with him for about 10 years, I believe. So maybe more.
Did you just say 10 years?
Yes. So this isn't just a matter of money, but money is important to be able to continue to go forward. So it's also time. So we would like to be able to have some of that, and I hope that people understand that I normally do not ask for money for what I do. I will actually refuse money, especially if I'm helping you right then, because most families they like to pick on poor families. So they need their money to take care of whatever CPS says. And in this case, I am asking for money because we need money to pay these people that are working. It's not for me to get rich, believe me. It's already cost us money, and it's going to continue to cost us money. We're just asking to share the burden some as far as the financials. And I hate to ask, but I don't. This is what I do full time. I stand for rights all the time. I still even have other tools to go back to work. And if you guys want me to go back to work instead of standing for rights, but that doesn't matter. Actually, God told me to do this. But anyways, I was a contractor before, and I quit doing that to stand for rights and help out wrongfully separated families. So my wife's the one who makes the money, and we're a large family. Currently, with me out of the house, it's only 5, but with me in the house, there's 6 of us, and my wife works for Burger King, and we have kept our bills low, so that's why we're able to afford for, God has put us in a position where we can be cheap and, be able to make it, not just for income, but when you add these, extensive legal fees, it can get pretty expensive.
Well, and it really comes right back down to, we're headed right back into lockdown 2.0.
Quite possibly.
No, it's already happening. So, I was reading about LA and New York are already pushing for masks again. Even the state of Idaho. Just 2 days ago, the state of Idaho started pushing Central District Health, I think it was. Maybe it was Southwest. I don't know. But they started pushing that it's okay to wear a mask for RSV and the flu and the cold and other respiratory viruses. Oh, and COVID. COVID was listed on there too. So it's okay to wear a mask again. And I just wanted to jump on there. It's okay to wear a mask to rob a bank too, but we don't do that. But I didn't. Anyways, it's all coming back. And if we held a really strong line in the state of Idaho that we weren't going to have mask mandates in 2020. And I know a lot of us felt like we failed because there were so many places and private companies that decided to have mask mandates. But the reality is we stopped it from being a criminal offense not to wear one. One, that was a big win. And 2, our governor didn't implement a mask mandate because he's a damn coward. But that's a whole nother That's a whole nother topic. But we're headed right back into it. And
you have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Hello?
I'm still here. Do you want to call back or you want me just to wrap up my thought after you go?
Yeah, if you want. But yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, like you want to call back or you want me just to wrap up?
That's you.
It's no, it's totally up to you. If you want to jump back on, it's fine. If not, I'll just keep rambling for a few minutes. But thank you for calling.
No problem. Just look at the newsroom, and that my own words is in there, and Melanie put out a post with the just didn't go. Maybe contact Pete Santelli, see if he's going to do the story and when, and put that out in the chat so everybody can watch. And please show up the 19th, and if you can, the 23rd also.
All right. Thank you.
You have exceeded the allowable time for this call. Goodbye.
I freaking hate that part of the call. Like, it just makes me angry that we can't just finish our conversation and he continue to pay for the extra 4 minutes or whatever until time's up. But anyways, I'm going to jump back to where I was. We are headed back to lockdown 2.0. So with that, I think we're going to be seeing some more nonsense health-related measures coming from all different directions in the coming months. And fights like Robert are more and more and more important every day because I'm going to want to protest again if they try and implement mask mandates, if they try and implement vaccine mandates, even though they're coming out saying that the vaccine is killing people. There are still employers that are requiring it, and I would like the opportunity to be loud about that in the future. And if we don't stand with Robert now, we're not going to have the option to do that in the future because this is going to set precedent that no, if you make noise and the cop decides, you're going to get disturbing the peace, and then your ass is going to jail for 6 months. I don't want to live in that world, guys. So Monday, we've got 2 times. We've got 12 o'clock at CPS. I didn't put that on the comments here. It sounds like there was a new Give, Send, Go link, which I apologize. I didn't realize it was an actual new one. But I will make sure to get that into the comments. And please, if you can, $1, $5, drop it in there to help Robert's family with the legal fees. And show up on Monday. Show up on Monday to the Ada County Courthouse let's show up at 2. Let's pack that hallway a half an hour prior to court. And it's going to be a good get-together, just like it was last week. And let's shock the judge with how many people we have in there, because we can do it. I wish we had as much influence as we do at the Capitol, making them move it to a larger venue so that we can all hear what's going on in that committee. Unfortunately, I don't think we can make that happen, but we can definitely fill the courtroom, maybe make them set up a Zoom room for us so that the judge has to know that there's that many people there supporting and watching what she's doing. So if you have questions, please drop them in the comments. I'll try and get to them as soon as I can. M. Nurse, I'm not sure what you're asking because the comments are so delayed. So if you want to get with me afterward, I'll try and answer that in the comments as well. But I hope you guys have a great Saturday night. I will see you on Monday in front of CPS. Have a great night.